These customers wanted the best travel trailer in the market, and they hope to find that with this Brinkley travel trailer. Let's see how that works out for them on this week's RV inspection report. Hello everyone, I am Michael Murphy, your personal certified RV inspector and technician. Today we'll be reviewing the 2025 Brinkley Model Z Air 285. But first, I would love it if you could take a second to like, subscribe, share, or comment on the video. Anything you do to support the channel helps us grow. If you'd like, leave us a comment. I'll do my very best to answer every single one. If you're new to the channel, which you probably are, I am a certified RV inspector, which means I evaluate RVs for clients before they buy them. We have now saved hundreds of people from bad buying decisions. We've also helped people find great RVs. My job is to objectively document the condition of the RV without bias and without my opinion. These clients originally called us to inspect a Brinkley Model I 265, which is Brinkley's smaller travel trailer. When I arrived at the dealership in Cleburne, Texas, you can imagine my surprise when I found a 265 on the lot and not a 285. Evidently, the clients had changed their mind at the last minute and no one told us. We confirmed with the client that this was in fact the right RV, and then I got to work. But before that, let's talk about the facts and features of this Brinkley. In full disclosure, this is not a sponsored post. I just like to tell you about the RV before I tell you what I found.
Contractor, no. I will not bow to any sponsor.
The Brinkley Model Z Air is a luxury dual-slided travel trailer. It's designed for couples, but does have additional sleeping space if you're having overnight guests. There is a queen bed forward with a comfortable living room and a large residential-style bathroom. Brinkley Model Z Air 285 weighs in at over 12,000 pounds and is 33 feet long. This is a very heavy travel trailer and is actually approaching fifth wheel size and weights.
Oh, that's an RV.
So those are the basics of the RV. What condition did I find this RV in? I usually start my inspections on the roof, and Brinkley roofs tend to do a little bit better than most. It uses sealantless construction over most of the RV, and they tend to do a pretty good job sealing the roof. It's one of the only areas where you see a lot of lap sealant. However, I did find quite a few areas where the roof membrane is bubbling. Now, I want to be clear that both Brinkley and the roof manufacturer, Alpha, have said that some degree of bubbling is normal, and there's a ton of reasons that it might happen, not the least of which is off-gassing from the manufacturing process. Most of the time, these bubbles settle down and aren't a problem, but sometimes they can increase in size, which will result in a roof replacement. So I always document the condition of the roof in case the worst case scenario happens, and then the client can prove that this defect existed at the time of purchase, so they can get a new roof under warranty. Now, the only other finding on the roof was this biological entity I found in the corner. It's somewhere between an animal skin and a banana peel, and to be totally transparent, I don't know what it is. I'm an inspector, not a biologist. My ask is just that the dealership clean it up before the clients get here, so the client doesn't get whatever this is dropped on them the first time they open the awning. Moving to the front cap, I found that the lens caps are peeling. This is very common on virtually all Brinkleys. Two things happen here. One, the lens caps can blow off on the highway, which is bad, or water can get in behind them and intrude into the coach, which is way worse. Either way, this is a known issue, and Brinkley is really good about offering the fix. So this is something that we can have fixed for them before they leave the dealer lot. Elsewhere on the exterior, there are a handful of scratches, nicks, and dings, which is common just from the manufacturing and transport process. It's 1,000 miles from Indiana to Texas, so there's going to be some kind of wear and tear just from that. I also found around this window, the putty sealant behind the window is oozing out. It's probably cosmetic, but it's worth taking another look at. Meanwhile, I found another window that doesn't open at all. Window malfunctions are spooky because they look small, but they're an avenue for water intrusion. Moving down to the tires on the ground, this coach features 4 Hankook tires. All of them were in great shape, but when I crawled underneath the RV to check the spare tire, I saw that it was made by a different manufacturer.
天上太阳红呀红彤彤哎，心中
This is a common practice in the RV industry, but I always draw attention to it just so the client is aware. The inside of the coach features the standard Brinkley color scheme. And Brinkley tends to use more robust materials on their interiors than most of their competitors do. However, there's a fair amount of wear and tear on the inside of this, like this damaged fascia above the kitchen. This fascia board is visibly discolored and it looks like it has been broken and glued back together. It's little things like this that make me crazy.
I'm not crazy.
When we bought ours, there was like 4 broken fascia boards and I had them all replaced under warranty. Speaking of being crazy,
I'm not crazy.
Brinkley uses this flexible sealant in a lot of places where walls and cabinetry meet the ceiling, and they've been inconsistent in where they apply it. So I've seen from model to model the amount of and where it's placed changes, and I can see some inconsistency in this RV. And maybe there's an intention behind it, but I don't know what it is. It would make me crazy to look at this visually. So we call that out in the report with the client. Now, this RV has 2 Furion Chill Cube air conditioners, which are great inverter style air conditioners. The only problem I found with them is that one of the remotes doesn't work, so the user would have to stand up and physically push the buttons on the air conditioner, which if you're of average height is fine, but our short kings and queens might have a hard time reaching that. I'm in here editing right now, and I realized that I didn't mention that the toilet is leaking around the base. Now, all of this said, other than a few additional nicks, scratches, and dings, this coach is in great shape. This inspection report is pretty short, and there's really not a lot for the dealership to work on. Our clients did end up purchasing this RV, and every single one of these flaws was addressed by the dealership or by Brinkley later on. Most of them were addressed before they ever left the lot. We like to say that RV inspections are free. If not in dollars saved, then certainly in time and frustration. These clients got to pick up their brand new Brinkley RV, and the few defects that I found were addressed without drama. This is why we always recommend the pre-purchase inspection. To book an RV inspection in Texas, visit cozycamperatx.com. For all other areas, visit rvhelp.com to find an RV inspector near you. Have a great day, y'all.